If you're currently in your 20s or 30s, then chances are that your goal is to build wealth over the long term. Most people know that in order to achieve this goal, they'll have to save some money. But you often hear the advice to put that money into a high-yield savings account. But is this actually a good way to build wealth in the long term? I don't think so. In this video, I'll explain why I wouldn't personally use a savings account if my goal was to build wealth, and why you probably shouldn't either. I'll tell you what I would do instead to actually reach the goal. Before we start, comment down below how much you save each month and where you invest your savings. Also, I do want to add, this video is not financial advice. I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you want to continue using a savings account to build wealth, perfectly fine. Let's get started. So first of all, why is a savings account not fit for building wealth? Well, it all comes down to a concept that is secretly killing your savings. That concept is inflation. Inflation is a gradual increase in the price of goods and services over time, which basically means that your money can buy less than it used to. But what does it even have to do with your savings, and why is it silently killing them? Well, over the last decade, the average return on a savings account in the West was around 1 to 2% per year. The average inflation, however, was closer to 3%. So yes, the money on your bank account may be going up, but the amount that you can actually buy with that money is going down. The return on a savings account is simply not high enough to increase your wealth. Let me illustrate this with a stupidly simple example. I hope I'm not making you feel like you're watching a school lecture, like some boring finance class, but this is really important. Let's say that today you have exactly $10,000 in savings. Online, you see a $10,000 watch that you really want to buy, but you don't want to spend all your savings. So you decide to wait 1 year so your money can grow a little bit first. Let's say the return on your savings account that year was 2%, which is honestly rare these days. And let's say that the inflation that year was 3%. So now your bank account says that you have $10,200, which is, by the way, without taking any taxes into consideration depending on your country. But because of inflation, that same $10,000 watch now costs $10,300. So even though your bank account increased, you can no longer afford that same watch. That's crazy, isn't it? It's extremely discouraging and makes you wonder, why am I even saving money when I can literally buy less after doing it? Now you're probably thinking, if a savings account is not fit for building wealth, then why is it the most popular financial tool? Well, it's all due to misinformation. Most people have an idea what inflation is. They know that it is the general rise in prices, but they have no idea how large it has been over the last 20 years. And who can blame them? It's honestly strange that something this important is barely taught in schools. Also, the returns on savings accounts used to be a lot higher. About 30 years ago, the average return was like 8% and sometimes even higher. But what if I told you that you can still easily achieve this return? But not with a savings account though. So if your goal is to build wealth, then where should you put your savings instead? I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your hard-earned savings. I'll simply share how I invest my savings and achieve a 10% annual return on average. I have a video on my channel where I explain this exactly in a step-by-step guide. In that video, I explain where I personally invest my money, the results I got on my portfolio, and how you can do the same. Not crypto, meme coins, trading, stock picking, or any of that BS. Just simply investing once a month, which takes less than 10 minutes of my time because I don't want it to feel like a second job. Now, I probably made it sound like a savings account is completely useless. And to be honest, when it comes to building wealth, it kinda is. But there are some niche cases where they can be useful. Let's say you started investing at a younger age and you set the goal of retiring by 50. Now let's say you are currently 48. You have built a portfolio that you wanted and you're really close to your retirement age, so you don't want to take any risks. In this scenario, it could be a good idea to transfer a part of your portfolio to a high-yield savings account to protect yourself against a potential stock market crash. But there are other options that do basically the same with a higher return. Bonds, for example. But the benefit of a savings account is that the money is always accessible and that you're protected in case your bank goes bankrupt. Well, at least in most countries. I personally think that the best way to use a savings account is for an emergency fund. This is where I personally use it, and it is one of the steps that I explain in my How to Invest video. To give you an idea, it means that you save 3 to 6 months of your living expenses on a high-yield savings account. This is crucial to prevent you from having to sell a part of your portfolio in case of an emergency, like losing your job or an expensive car payment, for example. Your emergency fund should always be accessible. That's why a savings account can be really useful in this case. I hope you got some value from this video. If that's the case, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. Until next time.